Hello, this is Renew Education. We are looking at a case here, just the lower right side. This is a fairly typical situation. I call this one green light because there's a lot of greens going on in this case, looking at that bone structure, constriction, bone quality, ridge height, that kind of stuff. It's all kind of light greens. And probably on this side as well, that root canal treated tooth on number 19 is probably not going to last forever either. So this is going to probably happen over here. So that's, you kind of got a future built into this. Let's look at the treatment assessment here. This is a light green, like I said, bone density. We have a green on the constriction. We have light green on the facial bone. We have light green on the IA nerve. Not much else to say about it. Pretty straightforward, but let's take a look at the CT. I have some implants in here. I'm going to take those out in just a second. But let's look at them with them in there. If that's the premolar site, we can look closer in on that bone here. Let's go back to the implant area here, and now you can see where the bone is. So he's got a really nice facial plate. It's very nice and rounded. You have a nice hard lingual wall. You clearly see where the nerve actually is. There's a foramen going through, and doesn't really go any higher than that. It actually goes pretty well down. So you have a decent amount of bone. The nice thing, so this is definitely a, what I would call a starter case for any doctors out there. This is the case you want. If you're right-handed, for sure, it's on your right side, it's on the lower arch, it's in a premolar area. You got to get this one right. This is a perfect first implant case. The diameter here on this implant is 4.2, so that's a 4.2 diameter. That's perfect. You don't want to go any longer than that, and I can't see the length, but it looks like, and that's an 8.5 is what I have there. Your drills are going to be the limiting factor here. If you only have a pano, you can see that. Now that nerve shows up right there. It looks like you're coming right on top of the foramen. You can see the nerve coming through here. So you got a little bit more room on the molar site. So let's look at that. And here I'll just click and go straight to it. Here's what that looks like. So we've got nice bone here. You got the nerve going through. You got a lot of cortical wall. Unfortunately, it's not as wide as you want. Maybe you want a 5mm implant here, but a 4.2, once again, this is a 4.2 by 8.5 that's put in there. Now, I always get the question of, do you splint or not splint? And it's case by case, my answer. And so I would not splint this case. I would make sure they could be cleaned. But I wouldn't put a full giant molar tooth here. I would limit the molar just a hair because it is a 4.2 diameter. I'd like to see a 5 at least here in a molar position, but I would leave it as more of a premolar size, which, if this is the premolar size here, I think that's totally fine. You're going to be one here, and actually maybe this even goes back further. I was just guessing there, and you would stage it something like that. So you wouldn't come to this wisdom tooth here at all, but you would get your occlusion back pretty nicely. I wouldn't worry about it. I probably wouldn't put it that far, but something like that. That's kind of what I would be thinking in placing that, and you would get your occlusion back at least to here for sure. So that's pretty good. I think that'll hold. You've got a strong bite going through here. She's got a little wear and tear here. But overall, it's a pretty straightforward case. I like the case. If you look at the uppers, there's a little interesting thing on the angulation of those teeth in the upper. Let me get to this central lateral. So looking at that angulation, so once again, this is a little bit of a nice element here that we have this facial bone sticking out here, or even on the lowers here. But the way these are angled in, you're going to really have to angle that implant into this bone if you did an immediate placement. And that's not a bad scenario for an immediate placement situation as well. If you're looking at a starter case to do, this is not so bad. But anyway, that's pretty straightforward. Nothing, no miracles here. So if you are a starter dentist and you're looking for a case, this is an example of that for a single tooth replacement, for a straightforward, easy surgery, limit the drill, but otherwise this should be very successful. So anyway, like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube and check out more of our videos and look for some of our broadcasts, and hopefully you'll join. Okay, thanks.